Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mackie and welcome to today's quite a long reading vlog in which I'm going to be attempting to get through this TBR over here during my midterm exams as much as I can. Now if you are noticing, I have gotten a haircut in this intro, yes, but in the video because I filmed it about a month and a half ago and I cannot find my intro no matter where I'm looking. So I'm coming in a month and a half later to give you my intro. I've also got fairy lights. This is not what it looks like in the video, and this is, I think, the first time you'll be seeing my new hair or what it looks like right now. It's not the first time I'm showing it on camera because the videos that I have recorded after will be coming after this one. But yes, I do look different now, but the video was filmed a month and a half ago and essentially I had midterm exams for around like 22 days. It was actually supposed to be 21, but then one of the papers, it got delayed because of heavy rains outside because it was waterlogged, and because of that we extended it to 22 days. So essentially we're going to try to see how many books I can read as a real full-time student and try to get through my TBR. My game plan for the video, or what I discussed in the intro the first time I recorded it, was actually trying to put down my phone more while I was studying, because I have this thing wherein whenever I study I usually take breaks in the middle like anyone does, and during those I get on my phone. So my goal was to kind of get through the books instead and try to see how many books I can read also when I put my phone down, and it was just spanning over the time of my midterms. So now keep in mind, the books I will be reading in the vlog right now, or the amount of them I read, is not realistic for me at least. I think this is the first time I've read those many books in a span of 22 days, especially considering I had midterms going on as well. So maybe I should just put my phone down more. Maybe that's the problem. But also, I don't know if I'm ever going to do the video again because it was very stressful trying to get through it. But regardless, let's just get into today's video. I hope you have a fun little time. And I'm going to rewind to myself a month and a half ago, starting with the first book on our little TBR. Hi guys, so today is Saturday. It's the official third day of the challenge. Day 1 was Thursday and I had like a really important paper yesterday which was Friday, and I spent all of Thursday studying, so I got no reading done. It was a total fail. But then yesterday, Friday, after I got back from the paper, I ended up literally just sleeping the day away because I was so tired after the paper. But then I sat up till 4 in the morning listening to one of the books on our TBR, so I'll talk to you about that in a sec. And then today is Saturday. I had something else going all morning, all afternoon, and finally it's evening. I have the time to sit down, update, talk to you guys. So here I am. Before we get into anything further of the video, I just wanted to put in like a quick disclaimer to tell you that if you came in expecting daily updates, I am in midterms week. Even like on a normal basis when I'm recording videos, sometimes when I have too much of like a workload going on, I don't force myself specifically to record in the span of a week. If it goes more than a week, I don't really go that hard on myself. So the fact that that is during normal days, now during midterm days when I'm even busier, I won't force myself to come update daily. So as much as I can, I'll try to make the video cohesive, but there won't be daily updates, so you're gonna have to bear with that. But as for the book, I don't know, I started it yesterday. It was Friday, and this one's called Bright Young Woman. Now I've actually been hearing quite a bit about it, and it's essentially like this story that's based off of like a real serial killer. I think it's based off of Ted Bundy, if I'm not wrong. And essentially it's like a fictional recount, I guess, of it, wherein there's this man and he kills a bunch of girls in a sorority house, but then our main character survives, and now as a survivor you watch her account going through the grief and going through the whole ordeal of what happens next, and you see the pain she goes through. But then you also see in these really smart one-liners that people are romanticizing the serial killer who literally took away the lives of so many bright young women who would have become such great things, but then because he took it away from them, they can't, and except now the world is romanticizing him and calling him all these amazing things, and he's just a loser. You know he's a loser, he's a horrible guy for what he did, but people are still loving and doting on him. And then the pain the victims' families go through, it's a lot of expression in the book, and it's reading more like a literary fiction than a mystery. But then the way I'm taking it in is that this was marketed to me as a mystery, not literary fiction. So while I'm not hating it, the way it's written feels very heavy for what I was expecting. I went in with a more, I want like a plot twisty book, which obviously now that I'm thinking back on it, clearly I was wrong. It's not a bad read, it's just the way it's holding my attention. It wasn't necessarily something I was looking for at the moment, but it's a good book regardless. And essentially you're following our current main character Pamela, and she's trying to line up all these different cases of all these people who were killed in the past few years or whatever, and she's trying to line it and figure out who was behind all of this and who did all of this. So she kind of teams up with this other woman, and that woman also has like a past wherein someone was taken away from her, and it's a lot. It's very interconnected. I don't know how to explain it really nice to you, so I'm trying my best, even though it makes probably no sense. But it's a very interesting book to read, and the way it's written is also really nice. Like the writing style, I'm enjoying it. It's just like I said, it isn't exactly something I was looking for in the moment, but it's not a bad book. I think I have like approximately 3 hours left on the audiobook, which I think I can also finish tonight. But before that, I know I said in the intro I won't be reading other books in this video, but I'm currently also reading Beach Read for a different video that actually needs to go out this week. It's not complete yet, and the thing is I need to start editing it tomorrow, but Beach Read is not finished, and I need to finish this book to be able to include my thoughts on this book in that video so it can go up, except I haven't done that. And because of midterms, I figured, okay, maybe before I start recording this video, I can quickly just try to get through this book. That didn't happen. I'm like halfway through. I have this much left. And so I'm thinking, even though I said that I'll stick to a TBR, it's my video, my rules. I think I'm gonna try finishing this book first, then we'll get back to our audiobook. And I'll give you brief thoughts on this book, but if you want more, you can go watch the video I'm referring to. It should be out by now. But I think now I want to focus on reading this book because I want something lighter in the middle of what heavy topics we're covering in this book. And I'm gonna try to get through both books tonight regardless. I'll give you my thoughts and opinions when I come in next. And that's the update for day 3. So far the challenge is pretty good because I think I've gotten through more of like an amount of a book than I normally do during midterms. I'm not really focused on reading, so now that I'm putting the phone down, or not necessarily, I'll get to in a sec, but now that I'm doing that, I'm reading more books, and that's pretty productive in my opinion. And while I was listening to the audiobook, I was actually playing a lot of Candy Crush, so that isn't really putting the phone down, but also I'm using my time productive. I don't know. Maybe you can draw some conclusion out of it. I don't know. But also I really quickly wanted to say, while I was playing Candy Crush, someone in the book was also mentioned to be playing Candy Crush, one of the prison guards. So it's very funny the way it coincided, and I just wanted to mention that. But I'll see you guys soon. I'll see you with updates. Hopefully we'll have finished a couple of books by then. And bye. Hi guys, so it's currently Monday, day 5 of our challenge, and I'm here with a lot of bookish updates. Firstly, I did end up finishing Bright Young Woman by Jessica Knoll. I'm pretty sure I gave you like a little summary, like a brief rundown of it, so I'm just going to give you my thoughts before we move on, because we're going to read a lot of books in this video at the rate I'm going, and I honestly don't want it to be like 2 hours long. I feel like personally, I didn't really enjoy the book so much. The meaning, the message behind it was obviously incredible. Society fictionalizes, romanticizes all these men who are complete losers. They're sick, they're twisted, they've done such horrible things to real people, and yet people talk about them romantically, they fantasize about them. And I get the message behind the book, but the way the book was written was essentially like a fictionalized account of what Ted Bundy did. So the guy we are talking about in the book who committed all the crimes is called the defendant, and I like how there isn't much focus on him. It's more about the women, but at the same time, because this book was a fictionalization of what Ted Bundy did, the defendant, is Ted Bundy. These victims that are in the fictionalized account, it feels wrong to read about them because there were real people out there who were affected by this man or by the actions of what this man has done. And so reading about it honestly just felt insulting to the victims who went through actual trauma and torture at his hands, and to the victims' families who still have to live and see stuff like this come up in modern day media, wherein you have such huge accounts into what actually went through and what these women endured and what they had to go through. And then it's so sad because there are real people out there who actually went through all of this, and so the fictionalization of that just felt wrong to me. Like, if you wanted to write a book like this, maybe you could write it, no problem, but then just don't make it about Ted Bundy, because I saw in someone's review that apparently some of the victims' names are also copied from real victims, but the account is fictionalized, and that just feels wrong to so many layers for me. And if honestly I knew that before I went into reading this book, I would not have supported it, I wouldn't have read it, but I have read it at this point. I gave it 3 stars because the message is correct, but just the way the execution went out, the way I feel like there's still so much power given to this man. He's still being held on such a pedestal wherein he did all these things to a woman. I didn't really enjoy that. I found it insulting to the victims, and so that's the way I'm going with it. After this, I know I should have continued with beach read. I don't know where it is. I think I've kept it there for now, but I found a different video in my drafts that I can go up this week. So beach read, that video doesn't need to go out at the moment, which is why I'm gonna savor the book as much as I can, because that feels like a 5-star. I'm not even joking, the way it's going right now. I think I made it to like chapter 17. It feels like a 5-star. I want to take my time with it, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. I'll finish it in this video, but maybe later in the week, not right now, because I have a different video that can go out. And then after that, I started The Notebook. Now this book by Nicholas Sparks, it's so popular, and honestly I feel like a Grinch because I'm just not enjoying it. It follows the tale of Ellie and Noah, and essentially they fell in love as kids one summer, but then now all these years later she's engaged to be married to a different man, but she comes back to meet him, and then they have all these exchanges, and he used to write her letters, and all this stuff comes out to the surface, and she realizes, oh my god, he still loves me and I still love him, but I'm engaged to someone else. And it's very much giving like a old-timey version of Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan, which I also read in the beach read video, which should be out by now, so you can go look at my thoughts on that. The premises are so similar, but I feel like that book was so much better. Even though, don't get me wrong, in The Notebook the romance is happening while she's still engaged to a different man, so it's technically cheating and I don't condone it. The way it was done in Same Time Next Summer, the romance just felt more romancy to me. I'm not even joking, because here the way it's written, no offense to anyone, but genuinely the women feel like she was written by a man. Like, it's so obvious the way he's written about her. Real women don't think like that, and that itself is aching me out. Just the writing style is not going right with me. The video that I said I'd upload this week instead of beach read video, I read a different Nicholas Sparks book in that, my first one. This is my second, and I don't think I'll ever read another book by him because I'm just incredibly bored out of my mind. Like, there's so many other better books out there, and I'm sorry this is your favorite book, but this just isn't doing it for me. Like, they fell in love, it feels very insta-lovey, even though it's supposedly happened like many years ago in its second chance, and it feels wrong because there isn't like snapshots of them when they were younger falling in love. It's just like in the form of like a big conversation, and I get that it's supposed to be like that it's being read out from a notebook, but again, I'm not enjoying it so much. I have maybe like an hour left of the audiobook. I'm gonna go listen and finish it while I finish working, and that's for book updates. I want to start a more fun book, more fulfilling book after, one that I actually think I might enjoy, so I'm gonna go back, look at our little TBR list that I made, and hopefully pick something better now, because I'm just being so disappointed by the books I'm reading recently. But anyway, that's the whole point of this update. I'm gonna see if I should just pick beach read back up after I'm done with this, because maybe that is what I need. That is what I'm looking forward to. But I'll see you guys in a little bit, hopefully with more book updates soon. Hopefully I'll have finished The Notebook and another couple of books by then. I don't really know, but I'll see you in a bit. Bye guys. Hi guys, so it's day 7 of this vlog. When I tell you I'm not intentionally coming in and updating every other day, it's just the way it's happening, I actually mean it. But since the last update, I did manage to finish reading The Notebook by Nicholas Sparks. I gave this book 3 stars. The ending was sappy, it was cute, maybe something I wasn't looking for in the moment to read, but I'll be honest, even the other book I've read by him, I think the video is gonna go up tonight of me reading that book. It was like a while back, it was pre-filmed, but that's the video that's going up. You will have seen that I don't essentially like his books. The endings, they feel fine, but the romance in them feels forced. Like, the connection I feel is not built and fully fleshed out. It just feels like it has to be happy and forced and then sad to some extent. I don't really know, but it's trying to evoke all these emotions from you, except you aren't really connected to it in the first place, or that's the way I feel, and so that's my feelings for the book. Now I want to make this video an update quick, so I'm gonna go on to the next thing. I did, after reading that, start Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, and when I tell you, my romance hopes were in the gutter when I picked this up, and right now I don't even know what, I feel proud to be a hopeless romantic, because this freaking book, The author, Talia Hibbert, she is popular for the Brown Sisters, I think, trilogy. She knows what she is doing. She knows it so well. Essentially, you're following these two kids. They are, I think, in like high school, and they want to enroll in these like Ivy League colleges and stuff. But like there's this like program, if they join into it, they get like good grades and they can enroll in the colleges they want to. So it's like an extracurricular thing, and the main girl, she's called Celine. She follows the main woman who is launching the program, and she's just like, I have to do this. Now some events transpire. The main guy, Brad, he ends up joining this program as well, and when you meet these characters, you know that they hate each other right now on the surface, but they used to be friends years ago, and internally at the moment they're like 17. They still wish they were friends, and they look at each other and in their head they're like, oh my god, I still wish I was friends with this person, and I'm not friends with them, but I wish I was. And then externally they have this, I don't know, thing they show each other wherein, oh my god, we're enemies, we have to banter back and forth, we have to be highly suspicious of each other, but you're unfairly cute because I still love you, but that's just the way I feel. And honestly, the way this book is going is so sweet, because then they have to go for that extracurricular together, and it kind of involves camping in the forest and the woods, working together and team building, and there's all these other children coming in, there's like a found family established, but then in that setting you watch their dynamic and their chemistry, you watch them slowly build up and progress together. And this is what I mean when I say I want a connection between the characters. I don't want them to be forced together, because it is so good. I'm not even joking. I think I started like a couple days ago. I'm nearly done with it. I have maybe an hour left on the audiobook, but I was like, I'm not going to finish. I'm going to give you my thoughts right now, then I'll go finish. And I want to like drag it as much as I can so I can savor every minute of it, because it's so good. The way they talk to each other is out of this world. I don't think I've ever read banter like that, wherein they know they like each other, but they're still gonna have all these sarcastic, mean things, but also they're like really funny, and they're not mean necessarily, but the way they hit is so sweet, and it's like a jab to the heart, you know, in the best way possible. And I'm really enjoying this book. It's like heartwarming and wholesome and sweet and cute, and I'm currently on the third act conflict part, which I very much understand where that's stemming from. I feel bad for them. I just want them to get back together. They're like my children at this point. I want them to be happy. So all good thoughts on this book. I also ended up starting a couple of thrillers on our little list, so that's a lot of books that's going on at the moment. But because I was listening to this and then I had only an hour left and I still had time yesterday to listen to stuff, but I didn't have the time to come to update, so I said I want to keep this aside. I want to finish it after I give you my update. So I've stopped on this, even though I didn't want to. I started Pretty Girls by Karin on audio, and I started, I think it's called Ward D on Kindle by Freida McFadden, because when I'm sitting in my bed, I'm chilling, I don't really want to get up and listen to an audiobook and work. I just want to sit and curl up with my Kindle and get cozy, and the only thing I want is a Freida book, because these days that's the only thing I'm like craving for. I've read maybe 4 of her books at this point. All of them have been such hard hitters. I've enjoyed every single one, so why not just go through her entire backlist this year? Who knows, but I know she's gonna be my top author at some point, so here we are. Now I'm not very far into either of the books. I think I'm like about 70 pages into Karin Slaughter's book, and I'm about like 100 into Freida's. And the thing is, I understand the premise of both, just I'm not so far in that I can explain it to you, because I'm probably like around 25-30% into both of the books. I'm not too sure. I think Pretty Girls is like longer though, so maybe like 20% into that one. And we haven't exactly explored too much of the themes of the book, so I can't tell you much about it, but I'm hoping by the next time I come to update, once I'm done with Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute, I can come give you my thoughts on that and finish out another couple of books, because we have 4 books going right now, the 3 of them and Beach Read, and I need to finish something, okay, because it's just too much to keep up with. So I'm gonna go listen, I'm gonna go read on Kindle, read my copy of Beach Read, finish something up, and I'll come update you in a bit. And I said that other video, the one with the other Nicholas Sparks books, is going up tonight. It also needs a thumbnail, so I think I'll be listening to something on audio, maybe finishing Highly Suspicious and trying to finish my thumbnail at the same time, getting my video done. And also I do have a couple of things I need to be doing for school, wherein I have documents written on Word, but I need to like handwrite them out for submissions this week and the next, because this week is very free in terms of the entire midterms at the moment, and I feel like my goal in my head is to finish at least 1 book a day this week, so that next week we have not much of a TBR to work with and I'm not too stressed out. We will see how that goes. I did end up finishing the notebook, I think it was like Monday and today is Wednesday, and I didn't finish anything yesterday, so I'll try to finish 2 today. I don't really know, but I'll see you guys in a bit when hopefully I finish something with more updates. And honestly, when this vlog started out in the slumps and I was feeling so bad and I was not enjoying the books I was reading, right now every single of the 4 books I'm reading, I'm having such a good time. Tell me how it just changes around like that. But honestly, I love reading and this is the best feeling. I'm gonna continue it and I'll see you guys in a bit. Bye. Hi guys, so it's been a bit since my last update. It is currently day 11, so it's September 22nd. It's 8:30 in the evening and it's halfway into our challenge. So day 11, and technically speaking, out of our little TBR that I set of 10 books and each read on top for a different video, I think we've got through only 4. So we aren't really halfway through our TBR. That isn't looking great, but I figured today is going to be a catch-up day. I'm going to try as hard as I can to catch up on it, maybe read a couple of extra books. So I'm going to tell you about what books I've read so far since my last update, and then I'll tell you how I plan to catch up. So last time I believe I was reading Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. I actually went and finished it right after my update, but I didn't come into update again because all I needed to say was, listen, incredible book. The banter was so witty and funny, and honestly I can't wait to read another Talia Hibbert book after this video because it was just so nice. It was heartwarming, it was wholesome. The guy was such like a golden retriever, friendly guy energy, and honestly I've been appreciating that so much more these days for some reason. So I had like a good time. I was eating it up. He was nice to her, they were doing things for each other, but then at the same time they were working through past issues, and I really liked the way the book was paced for us to have this like emotional connection with them before they actually committed to anything, because keep in mind they're 17-year-olds. How serious can it get? And I like the way that was portrayed in the book too. I like the outdoors element, the whole thing that they were doing with the going out for the program and stuff, for the people they found in the program, the friends they made. It was very sweet, it was very nice, very wholesome. I think I gave it like a 4 stars. I'm not too sure, but I'm pretty sure I was like 4. Really sweet book. I had a good time reading and I would really recommend. After that, I ended up picking up on audio Pretty Girls. I think I did mention that I started it in my last update, but I never told you anything about it. So essentially the book follows Claire Scott, now many years in the past, because she's like 40 something right now. When she was maybe 12, 13, like really younger, her elder sister Julia went missing, and Julia's body was never recovered. They never knew what really happened to her. And then now all these years later, when she's in her 40s, some other girl goes missing, and then she thinks that the disappearance of the other girl is connected to the disappearance of Julia, her sister, because the circumstances under which both of them disappeared are very similar. And there's this other event that really happens in Claire's life that kickstarts a bunch of, I guess you can call it like layers of lies opening up and unraveling themselves, and then all these things are coming to light, and it's just so crazy. Now this book, before you go into it, please keep in mind you need to look at trigger warnings. I did not know that going into it. I wish I did, because I probably would not have picked it up anytime soon. Every time I read the book, I had this sinking gut feeling inside. I felt at some points actually like throwing up. I cried 4 different times in the book, and keep in mind, I feel like this is marketed as a thriller, but it felt more like watching like a family's story of grief and how certain people affect certain things, how psychotic some people can be, and how you'll never truly know how people are like. It was just so crazy reading it and then watching the layers, like I said, peel back one by one and watching how much deeper it goes than the original stuff. And if you haven't read the book, you might find this little summary really vague and really random, but if you've read it, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because the way it progressed, I don't know, the way it went, I don't even know what to say, because I was rendered so speechless while reading it. After reading it, like I had this urge in me where and I kept wanting to go back to it, pick it up, read it. When I was reading it, I was feeling so scared and afraid and like, I don't know, just disgusted when I read about certain people's actions and how it affects other families, how it breaks them, how they can keep going on with it. That's all I'm gonna say, because I don't want to spoil it for you. And keep in mind, this isn't really a book I would go out of my way to recommend. For sure, I don't think I would ever go and recommend this to anyone, but personally I feel like every girl, honestly, not just young, every single woman should have to read this book at least once in her lifetime, so you know what kind of people surround you. Because I feel like reading all the books that I do, I usually end up reading stuff even in thrillers that have happy endings, but then the way this one happened, it just opened my eyes. I don't even know how to say it, because I'm not even joking. Since I finished it last week, I think like 3 3-4ish days ago. I haven't been able to finish another book. I have been in this weird, I don't know, dark state wherein I'm like paranoid about every man in my vicinity. That was literally my review for the book, and honestly, 5 stars. That's all I'm gonna say. It feels wrong to rate it anything but, because the way it made me feel, 5 stars. I'm so sorry about the light change. Maybe that was just to show you how strongly and deeply I feel about this book, how dramatic my feelings are for it. But I will tell you, I don't think a book has ever made me feel this way. I don't think I've ever cried to a thriller to begin with, even though it's not a thriller like I said. And I don't think I ever actually felt so paranoid by a book that I'm like in this dark, depressed, I don't even know what feeling, like just in this weird feeling all around me, in this weird state wherein I'm like overthinking every life decision and the people I surround myself with. And it's a very interesting book to read for that itself. But like I said, I will never recommend it. It's just I believe people should read this more, and that's it. If you are reading though, definitely check the triggers. Your mental health is more important than anything else, and there's quite a bit. It's very heavy, this book. Like I said, it's more of a grief story than a thriller. So if you're reading it for a plot twist and stuff, yeah, this book gets really crazy, and yeah, after the halfway mark, you just watch things go down with the one person that you figured out who's behind everything, and it gets worse and deeper. But like I said, it's not really a thriller, so do not read it for that reason. That's all I'm gonna say. So as if that wasn't enough for me, I picked up another very heavy book because I did not realize it was heavy. It's my fault. I should do more research when I pick my TBR. I actually saw this book on like someone's recommendations, and it's called My Heart and Other Black Holes, I think. It follows this girl. She's a teenager. I think she's like 16 or something. Very young, but all these things have happened to her, and she actually wants to unalive herself. I don't know if I can say the word on YouTube or not. And there's this website wherein if you think at the time you want to do it, you are gonna chicken out, you can actually sign up on the website and get a partner for it. It's called Smooth Passages. So you and your partner can unalive yourselves together, and that's basically the point of it. So she logs onto the website, she finds someone. He's in a different school, I think from hers, but they're in the same city. He's 17, and he's got stuff that's happened to him too. But then the more they hang out, the more hope she feels, and suddenly she doesn't want to do it anymore, and she wants to save him and bring him out of that rut too, because she thinks their lives are worth living and hope is a beautiful thing. Now I am reading this. I think I have barely any left of it. I will finish it maybe today, right after my update. And all I want to say is maybe I should not have picked this right after Pretty Girls, because I'm not feeling so great book-wise. I think I might be falling into a bit of a slump because I found a 5-star very unexpectedly, and both of them are so heavy, dealing with such heavy things, whereas I really read for escapism. I don't know what to say, but definitely check triggers on this one too. And I'm having a good time reading it so far. I love the way certain things are written in this book, and the way grief and hope is portrayed specifically, because the way it talks about it is just, I don't know, beautiful. That's all I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna go finish this book. It's not very long, I think, or at least for me it's been flying by. It's written in the form of like updates per day. So they have the specific day, April the 7th, in mind for doing it. And so it starts, I think, in March or something like that, and it says 1 month to go, 20 days to go, something like that, and it's broken up into sections like that, which are really small and easy to get through. So I think I'll be done in no time. I'll finish that book up, and I think we'll have 5 books done out of our TBR then. I'm also reading Ward D, but I actually put that down after reading Pretty Girls because I wasn't in the mood for a thriller anymore, especially because that book gave me a lot. When I tell you I want to go read another Karin Slaughter book so bad right now, but I'm holding back for the sake of this video and the TBR established, because I'm already picking Beach Read, which is outside of it. I put Ward D down for a bit. I think I got like 170-ish pages into it. I have 150 left, and I think after I finish this book, I will need something that is easier on the mind. So after I finish it, I am thinking I'm gonna pick Freida McFadden's up, because the way she writes just goes by so much faster and so much nicer, and I need something that's fun and just a little bit ridiculous to be reading after this, because I've been reading heavy books. And I also do want to sit and finish Beach Read finally, because like I said, I don't think I made much progress from the last time I spoke about this, but I'm getting really strong and happy feelings from this, and I just want to be happy overall. So I'm gonna go finish My Heart and the Other Black Holes. After that, I think if I lock in for the night, because it's like later in the evening, it's 8:30 like I said, and if I sit down and lock in, because I had a nap earlier in the evening, I think I can be up till at least like 3 in the morning and finish all 3 of the books I just told you about. I'm hoping that isn't too overambitious, but also if I read all of them, we will be on track and I think ahead of track for the challenge, because this week is going to be a very hectic one. It's already Sunday today. I don't have anything till Wednesday, but when I do, I have something daily, so I can't come in and really update or read for this video then, and that's the realistic side of it. So I want to get as much as I can done right now while I still can, and so I'm going to get to reading. I'll see you guys in a little bit. While I was listening to a book, My Heart and the Other Black Holes, I started this in a different video. I don't know if I ever said it, but I started this like waffle bear I saw on YouTube in a different reading vlog where I was listening to an audiobook. I had nothing to do, and so I'm gonna try to get through as much of this bear as much as I can in the video as well. I think I'll finish it, or who knows. I'm gonna go continue making this while I listen to our audiobook, and hopefully we can get this done so I can show you what it looks like, because I've been making this for a month now and I just want to get this done too. So I'll see you guys in a bit. I'm gonna go crochet some now. I'm gonna read my book, listen to it, finish all of my books up. Hopefully we'll finish all 3 and I can come give you guys updates tomorrow in the morning. But I'm gonna go now because this was a really huge update. Bye. Hi guys, so it's a bit of like a time jump situation. I skipped maybe a week of updates because I was so busy. When I tell you the first couple of weeks that I was giving you my original updates and that you watched before you have come up to this point in the video, I managed to get through so many books because I had like 1 paper and like 5 days worth of break to study for the next one, which I wasn't really utilizing well, in the sense that I would like skip studying. I would literally just read 4 days and then the last day I would study as much as I can and then pull an all-nighter, cram as much as I could, and the cycle repeats. I need to get better at that. But then after that, last week, or this week technically, was one of the most hectic ones I have had in such a long time because I had something every single day. So starting Wednesday last week till I think pretty much yesterday, I had everything. It was going non-stop. I had no break, and because of that I didn't really have the time to come update as well because I wasn't ready with anything per se and I was trying to push it. But also because of audiobooks, I have managed to get through quite a decent chunk of our TBR, and because I don't want to sit here and give you like a 30-minute update about each book in depth, we will get through them in like a speed flash. So after I finished My Heart and Other Black Holes, I think I gave that like 3 stars because I wish there was more to it. It felt very condensed. I feel like it could be made a little bigger and explore the emotions a little better, but again, the hope in it was I think the best part and I really enjoyed it. But then because I was reading all these heavy books, I don't know if I really felt the whole impact of it, considering the book I read before that, Pretty Girls, was like a 5-star and it was just so heavy. After that, I read my 3rd fantasy of the year, or at least in my head I'm considering it like a fantasy, but I think you could also classify it as like a mystery thriller kind of book. It was The Grace Year, and essentially it follows like these girls of this village. Whenever they turn 16, they end up getting these like magic powers, and to get rid of those powers so they can come back and live in modern society, get married, go have children or whatever, they're supposed to go and spend the grace year or the 16th year of their lives in like a forest trying to get rid of that magic. And basically that's the whole point of the book. It follows them on their grace year and how it explores like so many different themes. Like there's magic, and then there's, I don't know, so many different things that make it feel like a fantasy, but also because of the themes it could also classify as literary fiction. But then because of the way the characters were behaving, and there were so many like, I don't really know if they classify as plot twists. It could also go as mystery thriller. So very wide genre book, but I would highly recommend for this time of the year because it was so good. And honestly, I think I might want to start my fantasy era now because I've been looking up like different what you're supposed to be reading for fall or how to get into fantasy videos, and it was like a really good book. I enjoyed it. I sped through it. I literally finished that book, it was huge, in 2 days, the audiobook, while I was doing some of my things. Let's take a second to address that. And then again, like like I was saying, it's good for this time of the year because the way it's written flows so fast, and it's set in, I think, autumn, or at least that's how it's like bifurcated. And because of the way the seasons are going, because it starts in fall and goes beyond that, you're making your way from fall to the rest of the seasons. However, because she was outdoors and trying to survive and do all these like survival wilderness things, it just felt very fall core. I don't know why. Even if it said it was set in summer, like towards the later end of the book, I guess, it still felt very fall because of the survival thing, and so I would very much recommend it for this time of the year. I'm trying to remember what I read after that. I think it was Do Not Fall in Love, because I was just reading so many heavy books that I figured I should have probably added more rom-coms to the list so I can balance it out, because that's not what I normally end up reading. I usually just read rom-coms back to back, and so I desperately needed one, and the only one on the TBR was Do Not Fall in Love. So I read this book. It essentially is just like this really cute palate cleansery romance, nothing crazy. The other one, the book before this, I gave it 4.5. I don't know if I mentioned that. And then this one, again, I gave like a 3 because it wasn't too crazy, but it was very much required in the middle of all these heavy books I've been reading. Essentially, it follows this guy, this really famous actor, Ryan Kwok. He bumps into this girl when he walks into a donut shop, and she actually works there. She's the owner, and she like drops all her donuts. That's their like little meet cute. They end up fighting a little bit or whatever. And then later, because he's an actor, he kind of gets this deal wherein he can go sign on baking fail and essentially take part on it. And now he wants to learn how to bake so he doesn't look like a complete fool on national television. And so he goes to this girl at the donut shop where he knocked her donuts over and she had the whole argument with him. And he's like, can you teach me how to bake? So they have all these like baking lessons, but then there's so much more to it. Again, the story, this is just like the briefest little summary. It's like a rom-com, and honestly the com of it was fun. The rom was also very fun. I don't know, I had a good time. Honestly, it was very much just required in the middle of whatever I was reading, so I can get like a bit of a break. And I did end up wanting donuts the entire time I was reading it. Did end up also getting donuts. Somehow my parents read my mind and got it for me, and I think I have it on a clip, so that's what I ended up doing. I also, after this, managed to finish Ward D because I've been talking so much about it in the video. It follows this girl Amy. She's supposed to work the night shift at this like psychiatric facility, but she doesn't want to because 8 years ago, I believe, she had like a bad experience with her friend Jade, who ended up there. And then when she went to visit Jade in Ward D all these years ago, something terrible happened, and suddenly now she's very turned off from the idea of going and working there. But then she goes there and she meets Jade there, and whatever, it's like fine, except as the night progresses, people keep disappearing one by one. And I will say, this is by far, I'm really sorry, the most disappointing Freida McFadden book I've read, because I had such high expectations and hopes. People were hyping it up, giving it 5 stars, people I follow and trust, except every single plot twist that came my way, which she puts like maybe 10 in her book. I guessed like 7 or 8 out of them, and so only like the mini ones that really shocked me. They didn't really hit as hard considering I got like maybe 90% worth of the plot twist figured out in like the beginning of the book only, and so it was very disappointing because there were certain like subtle clues, but then because I have read so many books of hers at this point, I think this is like her 4th or 5th book that I'm reading, I was able to kind of pick it down and like figure out the way she, I don't know, writes her plot twists. And I don't know, I just felt very let down by it. Her new book came out a couple of days ago. I am gonna read it, obviously. I think I've already downloaded it, but then the only problem is now I'm not so excited and hyped as I was, because again, like I said, I feel let down, and I will at some point, just not right now in the near future, and I'm really sad that happened. But then again, that's just the way it is. I'm also giving this book like 3 stars because like that is for the way it was written, and it was Freida McFadden. Like I'm not going to give it anything lower than that. And yeah, the 300 pages that the book was, it really flew by. I didn't feel like 300. I'd read like a chapter every day at night, and it was very fun and entertaining. It just wasn't the most fun, crazy mystery thriller book I've ever read. I think after that, I also read one more book. I think I read None Shall Sleep. I finished that yesterday. It follows like these 2 teenagers. They've been recruited by the FBI to solve cold cases, but then there's a link between their current cold case that they're working on, and I think like an active case that's going on wherein a person, he's like, you know, unaliving people and then like hanging them up, taking their blood, whatever. I'm not really sure if I can give you the details on YouTube, but basically he's a pretty messed up guy, and there's like a connection between the cold case and the active case that's going on. So these teenagers get on it and they're doing all these things trying to figure it out. And again, I don't know why, maybe I'm getting back into a slump because I'm feeling let down by these genres I'm reading, so maybe I should get into fantasy sooner, because while this was good, it was maybe 400 pages long, and it took so long to get to build up that at the point where finally towards the end we got like resolution and conclusion. I did enjoy it, and I will read the second one in like the interconnected duology. I felt a little let down. Like, I enjoyed it, it was cute, but I feel like it was like kind of slow getting to it, and it wasn't like the best book I've read again. But again, it was fun, it was good to read, whatever. And then right now I'm reading the last book on our official TBR, When You Were Everything, and it essentially follows this girl. Her friend is not her friend anymore, and it basically explores all these themes, I guess, of how you're friends with someone and then what happens when you lose them, the kind of emotions you go through. And at the moment it's hitting a little too close to home for me, the way the author has written all these emotions and feelings, and she's got all these words down on paper, and the way that I'm so properly just resonating with it. Like, it's kind of scary the way I'm able to, I don't know, understand feelings on both sides of these girls and like see the way it's going. And like, this feels like a very character driven story. Like, nothing crazy is happening, it's just following them and their lives, and you don't really know what's gonna happen at the end, which is why I'm interested to continue. So I don't really know how this is gonna go. But then the problem is, today is, okay, so I don't know if I really said it, but yesterday was supposed to be the last day of the challenge, and today is supposed to be the day I kind of take, like, I guess as a break, so I can, you know, edit and like get into new videos or plan for them for next week. But last week on Thursday it was raining. I think it was raining crazy on Wednesday, and that's why the school, they cancelled the thing we had on Thursday and postponed it to today. So I actually had to go in the morning. I had to do the thing, I finished it, came back, and technically, because it got postponed to today, it still counts as midterms going on, and it finally just got over today because of the fact that it was postponed. So while I originally said in the video that the video is going to be a certain length, it's not going to be that anymore, because technically midterms got shifted to today, so I get like an extra day to complete my book as well. I don't know if that makes any sense, but you do know it was raining because I had a clip for that, and so I'm taking my time. I want to finish the book before it gets like too late, because today is technically our last day. I have until midnight to do it, and it's very much evening right now, and I want to get it done, you know what I mean? So I don't want to fail the challenge. We're so close to completing it. I just need to finish this and maybe beach read if I can, and we're done with our TBRs, whatever you want to say. So I'm gonna go work on that. But then the only problem for that now is I'm actually supposed to leave soon for dinner with my family and my uncle who's in town and visiting. So I don't really know how much I'll get done. I want to finish it. I'm very close to. I think I have only like a couple hours left on the audiobook. So if I don't finish it by the time I leave, because I will be playing it while I'm getting ready and everything, I think I might just play it in the car as well on the way there, because the place is far away, and I think there's a very decent chance that I could finish everything by today. So we shall see. This update has been so long. I'm honestly so tired and sick of coming and giving such long updates, but that's just the way it's going at the moment. I'm a little tired of talking now as well, so I'm gonna go probably drink some water, get hydrated, and then I'm gonna go get ready, listen to my book, I guess. I don't really know. And I'll try to finish our little challenge, I guess. I'm so excited because honestly, during audiobooks, all I've really been doing is like just breezing through them. I'm playing Candy Crush, I'm listening to my audiobook, I'm having the best time ever. And while I'm not doing that right now, I'm crocheting. I'll show you what I'm doing in a sec. I'm having such a good time. I'm like really enjoying this challenge at this point, even though the books haven't really been the most spectacular ones I've ever read. But I think it's fun. I'm just gonna go get back to it, and I'll see you guys hopefully tonight if I'm not too tired, or otherwise I'll come in the vlog tomorrow with updates as to if I finished the last book on our official TBR yet or not. I'm really hoping I do, because if I don't, I came so close to doing it, 10 books during midterms, and that would honestly feel like such an achievement because I've never really done that before. I usually just neglect reading while I have exams, and so this feels like a huge thing to me, which is why I want to do it. And so I'm gonna try so hard, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or tonight, like I said, hopefully with some updates, and hopefully I'll have good news. Like I said, I'll show you what I was doing, and during the audiobook I managed to make a few tea coasters to send it to my aunt when my uncle has his flight back on Sunday, and I'm supposed to have finished it by tonight before the dinner, and it's just gotten done, and I'm so close to finishing the audiobook as well, so I'm so excited. But this is what I was basically crocheting. I was also making the bear, I think I showed earlier, but I haven't really had too much progress on that, so maybe I will finish it, maybe I won't. Maybe beach read the audiobook is a good time to do that, but I'll figure it out, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Hi guys, so it's me again from the intro. I'm in the future. I have finished all these books since. Now I know you were waiting on a When You Were Everything update. Guess what? I didn't manage to finish it when I recorded the first little thing telling you I would do it while I was changing. No, I didn't finish it while I was getting ready, but I did continue listening to it on the ride over there, and I finished it in the car. So I was so proud of myself because I think I got it done around like maybe 6:37 in the evening, which was kind of perfect because I still had time to read Beach Read till midnight. However, I had the dinner, it lasted longer than I thought it would, and then by the time I came back home, I was too tired to really do anything, so I figured I'm gonna give myself the pass, because honestly, the original TBR consisted of 10 books which I got through, and I think that's a whole accomplishment in itself considering I read all of these through midterms. So while I did not finish Beach Read in our original like 22 days, I have since recorded a different video, which will be the one coming out after this video that you're watching, or maybe the one after that. I'm not too sure, I don't know my schedule, but when it comes out, it's a fun little video wherein I'm going to be reading this book, and you will see it. There are 2 videos of me reading this book specifically, the one that came before this video wherein it was like a summer books video, and the one that comes after. It's a very fun one, and I actually did end up reading the book since. That's the point. But now technically I don't really remember the last thing I said to you, so I'm just gonna go over everything. When you over everything, the book, it essentially follows this girl whose friend isn't her friend anymore. They had something go wrong in their friendship, and essentially you're following her over past and present timelines. Past wherein you try to, watch them grow as friends, and then how they became friends, and then how it all broke off. And then present timeline, the way she's getting treated by her ex-best friend and the ex-best friend's new friend group, and how she's finding her own new friends and how she's trying to move on from that. Because I feel like in all these books we read, there's so much prioritization done on romantic relationships wherein we don't really talk about the essence and the importance of just friendships, platonic, fun, bestie, the kind of friendships you hang out with a person, you trust them with your secrets. But then the way the book explores it, you're trusting them and then they use it against you. And I feel like it felt so real just watching both of them go through that, because I feel like both of them in the book were at fault, which made it feel so much more rounded. But at the same time, since the month and a half I've read it, or 3 weeks technically, because it was the last book I read, I haven't really thought of it once since, which is sad. But again, I did really relate to the characters while I was reading it, because in the past timeline, our main girlie, the one we were following, after her friendship broke off with her best friend, she had another couple of things happen in her life that just snowballed into this spiraling downfall, which was so sad watching her go through it. And I feel like that's just what felt more realistic to me. And again, the way friendship was portrayed in this book, I will say this is the most realistic version of that I've ever read. So I did enjoy reading the book. That's a really good thing. It's just it's not memorable enough for me to have remembered all these weeks later to come tell you a summary. But I will say again, the way she moved on from the friendship, the way she found her own group of friends after, and then the way she's opening herself back up, trusting again, I feel like it captured such a moment of your life, such an integral part wherein you feel like everything's falling apart because you lose that one friend, and it explores so many emotions that you go through when you lose that friend. But then again, you're gonna get back up, you will get on your feet, you will get back out there, you will find someone maybe better, maybe someone who won't do the same things to you, and then maybe something that's not as toxic. So I feel like it was a very good book exploring that. It's just I didn't find myself connecting to either characters, because of which I wasn't so interested in the storyline, and so I gave it 3 stars, which is not a bad thing, do not get me wrong. It's just I wish there was more about these characters specifically, that you get so attached to them, and then it breaks your heart watching them fall apart as well. Overall, it was a good story. I did find it like a little repetitive at some points, but like I feel like sometimes I find that with every single book. Most of the TBR I picked for this video was like that anyway, and regardless, I had a good time reading. Now the TBR I picked for the video, I did pick more mystery thrillers than anything else, because that was what I was in the mood for at the moment. Now, because of the one fantasy book we read, I'm more in the mood for fantasy, and in the current vlog I'm actually recording, which you will see in maybe 3-ish weeks time, I don't really know. You will see me delving into fantasy and having the best time of my life. So I feel like we've achieved quite a bit from the video here, and I'm so happy this was the TBR I picked out, because I feel like if I hadn't picked any other genre, it would have been harder for me to get through. Mystery thrillers are the only ones that keep me on the edge of my seat and going, and that's the only way I think I could have finished all those books during our little 22-day challenge. And so I'm actually grateful I picked out the TBR that I did, surprisingly, but it was a good time. And after that, the unofficial TBR, I have since read Beach Read in a couple of different videos, the one that came out before, the one that will come out after. I think I said that. So essentially essentially it follows a couple of writers. They are in writer's block, so they end up making this kind of deal wherein they're gonna try to swap genres. So January she writes romance, Gus writes literary fiction. They're gonna swap what they write. So she's gonna write his genre, he's gonna write hers, and whoever gets a book published first is gonna be the winner of it, because they're like college nemesis, met like years later when she shifts into a beach house. And by the way, she shifts into the beach house, her father has left her, the one he was actually having an affair in with another woman while her mom had cancer. So a lot going on over there, and she wants to sell the house at the end of the summer. So she's only got summer to carry out this deal with him, because she actually has a contract signed with her publishing house as well. She needs a book out by the end of the summer because she won't be there, at least at that spot anymore. So she's going end of summer, and then they make this deal, and then he makes her promise him that she's not going to fall in love with him. But then, you know, you watch the story, you see how it goes. But then again, there's like a timeline on her stay over here. Is she going to stay here longer than a month? I don't know. Read the book. And I read it since. I have more comprehensive thoughts in other videos. I will say though, I have enjoyed it a lot. I love the way Emily Henry portrays grief and just sadness, and then the happy little moments in life. And you might have guessed it at this point, 5 stars. We found 2 5-star books in this video, and if you want more thoughts, you should watch the video again before and the one which I will be posting next probably. And so that's it for today's video. I'm so surprisingly happy that we actually managed to get through all of them, because I was very skeptical at the beginning when I added 10 books to the lot. But I'm happy we got through them. I'm happy we did it, even though we didn't finish an official TBR, but that's still fine. I'm happy regardless. We did a lot of reading than I normally do, at least in 22 days, and we found 2 5-star books. Can it get any better than this? No, it cannot. I had the best time, the best vibes. If you want recommendations from this video, literally go take them, because they feel so fall coded, these books, especially the Gracia. I had such a good time getting through them. Even this book, I feel like even though it's set during summer, it felt like such a cozy fall comfort hug kind of book. And so yeah, you've got a few recommendations here for yourself as well if you've made it to this point in the video. And that's it for today's fun little, probably long because it's on the longer side, reading vlog. I hope you guys had a fun time coming along with me, trying to see if I can get through my TBR. It's so crazy that I did, kind of. And yeah, I hope you guys had fun. Let me know if you did. Like, comment, share, subscribe. YouTube things. I will hopefully see you very soon in my next vlog, in which I will finally be reading this book and giving you actual cohesive, comprehensive thoughts. And that's it. I'll see you guys soon. Bye. Have a great rest of your day.